Incredible findings from Shelter reveal a shocking truth. Over 308,000 individuals, among them 123,000 innocent children, are hidden from our gaze as homeless in England. Even more alarming, the count of those inhabiting temporary accommodations has surged by a jaw-dropping 74% within the past decade. Yet, this crisis doesn't strike uniformly across the United Kingdom. Certain regions bear a much heavier burden of homelessness than others. So, where exactly do they not want you to know is suffering the most from this issue in the UK? Homelessness in London. In London, homelessness is a big problem. According to the Combined Homelessness and Information Network, CHAN, for April 2022 and June 2023, they found 23,325 people sleeping on the streets in London. This is a 21% increase compared to the year before. But this number doesn't count all the hidden homeless, like those staying with friends or family temporarily. Shelter thinks there are more than 308,000 homeless people in England, and more than half of them are in London. The number of homeless people in London has been going up steadily in recent years. This is because of a few reasons, like the high cost of housing, cuts to welfare, domestic violence, and mental health issues. In London, the places with the most homelessness are Westminster, Newham, and Haringey. These areas have a lot of low-income households, and there aren't enough affordable places to live. Homelessness is also a problem in South England. Homeless crisis in South England. As of September 2023, there are around 24,140 homeless people in South England. This includes people who have no place to live, some who sleep on the streets, some who stay in temporary places, and some who stay in hostels or supported housing. The number of homeless people in South England has been going up in recent years because things have gotten more expensive. There aren't enough cheap places to live, and the government has cut some financial help for people who need it. Surprisingly, some of the places with the most homeless people are seaside towns along the southern coast. Why? Well, it's because these areas have nice weather and lots of tourists even during the winter. These things make it easier for homeless people to find a place to stay without being noticed. Brighton, for example, has a reputation for being welcoming to homeless folks. Homelessness is also a big problem in Scotland, where over 32,000 households are struggling with it. Homeless problem in Scotland. In 2022/23, more people in Scotland became homeless or were at risk of becoming homeless. It went up by 10% compared to the year before. So every 16 minutes, a family in Scotland lost their place to live. In England, the latest survey about housing revealed that 1.15 million households were staying in temporary places like hostels and B&Bs. Homelessness in Wales. In Wales, the problem of homelessness has been growing in recent years. In 2021 to 22, there were about 84.9 households out of every 10,000 in Wales that were considered homeless. It's a bit less than the previous year, but it's still higher than before the pandemic. The Welsh government is trying to tackle homelessness with a few plans and actions, such as the Ending Homelessness Action Plan. This plan is the government's way of saying they want to end homelessness in Wales by 2030. The Housing Support Grant. They give money to local authorities to help people who might become homeless and to help those who are already homeless find stable places to live. The Supporting People Program. They provide funds to support services for people with complex needs, which includes those who are homeless. Homeless people in Northern Ireland. Homelessness is a tough problem without simple solutions, but we must deal with it. In Northern Ireland, the number of homeless people has been going up in recent years. In the first half of 2022, 5,133 households were recognized as homeless, which is 6.3% more than in the 6 months before that. One big reason people become homeless is that they can't afford to rent or buy a home. To fix this, the government should invest in making more affordable housing, especially for those with low incomes. Now let's talk about homelessness in Northeast England. Homelessness in Northeast England. In the Northwest, it's the second worst place for homeless families. About 29% of them live in temporary housing and 19% of the homes they stay in are not in good condition. Right now, in the northeast of England, there are around 1,250 homeless people, including 360 kids. This number has gone up a lot in recent times, and the northeast now has the biggest share of homeless families in the UK. Some specific groups of people are more likely to be homeless than others in the UK. Homeless people, family problems. Many young people end up homeless because of conflicts and troubles within their families. Parents or caregivers might ask them to leave, or they might choose to go because they feel unsafe or unsupported. Mental health issues. Feeling really sad or anxious can also lead to homelessness for young people. Those with mental health problems might struggle to keep relationships and jobs, and they can face discrimination and stigma. Substance use. Using drugs or alcohol can also cause homelessness, either directly or indirectly. Young people who misuse these substances might be told to leave home by their families, or they might not be able to afford housing because of their addiction. Not enough affordable homes. In the UK, there aren't enough cheap places to live, and this makes it hard for young people to find homes. Rent prices are going up, and many young folks can't afford to buy a home. Homelessness can really hurt young people's lives. It can cause them physical and mental health problems, substance use, and even involvement in crime. Homeless young people are also more likely to be victims of violence and exploitation. The UK government has some plans to help homeless young people, but there's still a lot more to do to deal with the reasons behind youth homelessness.